Going live. This hangout is now live on air.
And this is Miracles and Wonder.
And this is another miracle and wonder. It's a wonder that I am out of bed, people. I've got my bed hair covered up, so I look like an old babushka grandmother today.
No, it's all trendy. I told you I saw them at the shop. They're called schnoods.
Oh, yeah, okay. I've got my schnood on. I'm a high-conscious fashion victim.
So you're a
risen, birds are singing.
Homemade fashion victim.
Homemade fashion victim.
Yeah, that's different.
That's very different. That means I just hang around at home until people give me things. And lucky, our neighbour, she is a model, and she gave us lots of clothes the other day, and they were lovely clothes, and I feel so lucky to have such beautiful clothes.
Yeah.
It's a very nice feeling.
And my...
To be dressed
what do you call your husband's mum? Your mother-in-law?
Yes.
My mother-in-law's neighbour gave me 3 big bags of clothes the other day, and she's a fancy businesswoman from Malaysia, so that was pretty flush.
And her clothes can be also mistaken for circus trainer clothes.
So your parents
Go figure.
They were a very special pair
Spotty yellow pants.
Yes.
Just for circus trainer wearing.
Just for Miss Louise.
Ooh, it's a bit cold here today. Like, I know you people look at us and go, yous are wimps. Oh, it's not even snowing yet. Well, it's not snowing, that's correct. It's very nice outside. In fact, there's probably people swimming just out the window there.
In the ocean. Cold for me.
In the ocean. But yeah,
it's all
feels cold to us. It feels, now I lied.
Why?
I feel like I've got confessions to make. No special guest unless you count
me. I'm special.
She's special. She's special. And so, okay, we've got a special guest. I can tick that off. That was not a lie. Special guest. Malinsky. She arrived.
Well, and no doubt I have quite a few attachments around that have come to visit. If you turn around and you say, we need a special guest, one will come in, so be careful what you wish for.
She keeps saying, be careful what you wish for to me. And I'm like...
Yes, because you keep wishing for things.
No, but I keep going, but that's what I always tell other people. That's what I'm always saying to other people. Be careful what you wish for.
This morning in bed, Louise was going, hey, I challenge you, the next person to make noise to get me out of bed, I'll take you on. That's when I said, be careful what you wish for. Oh, no,
I was saying, come on, bring it on. I was saying, bring it.
Yeah, but
bring on the noises to get me out of
bed. The words that you said were, I will take you on.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I always say. I'm a battle maiden. That's what Louise means. I met another Louise on the weekend. She also was a battle maiden. It's a trait of people called Louise. I don't know how our parents know when we're born to give us that name.
What about that teacher that we know? She's Louise.
It's very clever. And she's probably a battle maiden too. Did you see her with them kids?
I've never seen her.
No, I'm only joking. Anyway. Yeah, there's a few Louises kicking around at the moment.
Yes, but when I say be careful what you wish for, what that means is, so if you say, I'm having trouble getting up in the morning, okay, people, I know you're making sound to encourage me to get out of bed, I'll take you on. The invitation that you have sent out into the universe is to have an abrasive situation.
Oh, look, I'm still having trouble finding the gap between my thoughts and my experience because it was an abrasive morning. Anyway, it was not abrasive. It felt like someone had tiled over my head during the night. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I've been having some very vivid dreams lately.
And that was because what was the program that you were doing with dreams?
Oh, gosh, and I've even forgotten his name. Name. Anyway, some fabulous person who is going to be talking in America, and he's Spanish, and he's a shaman, and he gets you to do breathing to the count of 52, so you get to do a lot of breaths, and he was on the Hey House World Summer. And just lucky we haven't got anything to promote of his because I wouldn't even know his Sergio Mandela. Anyway, You'll find him if you want him. And he's going to America
We'll put
this
some
year
links up
to
somewhere.
talk.
What's he? Is he Toltec?
Oh, yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Is it Toltec that he does?
I don't know.
Toltec, Olmec, I can't remember.
That sounds like a good chant in itself.
Okay.
Toltec, Olmec, Toltec, Olmec.
Yeah, Toltec,
Anyway,
Olmec,
I really like the name. They had a word for the... And now I can't even remember. Oh, anyway, I just like the lingo.
But the reason you're having the dreams...
Oh, it's because I'm probably fascinated by mudslides. No,
I thought you were telling me that it was a shamanic thing.
I've watched too many mudslides.
You told me there was a shamanic thing that you were doing about looking at your dreams.
Yes. I don't know. I'm not very good at locating anything, really, or sticking with anything, as you can tell by the radio show.
But once you put it out there, like once you go, this is what I'm doing, that's what happens, whether you remember it or not. So if you've gone and said, I am having a shamanic exploration of dreams, therefore you will, for the next however long that you have that process, be having dreams related to that process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those amazing dreams that you've been having, as cryptic as they seem, are tapping into that shamanic experience.
Oh, yes. Yes. Always. Yes.
So it's not as random as we think it is. It's just sometimes we forget what we've put an order in for, or what we've signed up to, what door we've opened, whatever, however you want to look at it.
Well, and speaking of forgetting what we've signed up for, we're all here.
Just in case you weren't aware of that.
Yeah, there's been some serious signing up going on, and we came into this big program that's going on down here, around here, whatever, in here, out of here, in and out, roundabout, over here.
And somewhere I feel like we signed different contracts. We all signed our own contract. But that's not the story that everybody tells. I don't know, like there is a story that we've all signed up for the same contract. But when I think about that, when you say we've all signed up to be here, the first thing I get is, yeah, and we've all signed our own contract.
So you better get with Mel's program where you read the fine print, people, because I was watching a comedian last night and he was he was saying something about, I can't remember what it was, but he was basically saying Apple could put in the, I don't know, Herr Führer's, declaration in their iPhone agreement, and everyone would just go, yeah, sure, I agree, whatever. And no one would even notice, and millions of us would just be signing.
Except for the people that read the fine print.
Yes. Oh, goodness me. It wasn't very funny, that. I just found that very funny.
Yeah,
because
but
the guy
true.
was basically saying, people have worked out how to get us to agree to anything. They just make it boring.
Yeah, pretty much.
They just make it as boring as possible.
But I think that goes for all the subconscious, subtle layer experience that we have on a daily basis. We are signing up for stuff because we are on automatic pilot and we're not conscious of the meanings of the words or whatever it is that's going on, of the agreements that we're making. And so all of those subtle layers are all operating according to your wishes, to the things that you've put out there. Like there is a sense that it's not random. Obviously there are cycles that are coming towards you that you haven't put in your order. But that was in your contract. You just can't remember.
And of course, I'm someone who believes that words are magic spells forever. Like I have consciously, really thought about it a lot in my life. But I just use words in the most random, inefficient way. And I like that. I like that I can say tiger and mean elephant. Literally, I say Sunday and I know I'm talking about Wednesday. And I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no wonder I have confusion in relationships. Yes. Anyway, what should we talk about now? Let's not talk about Louise's relationships. Oh.
But I'm thinking about communication. I mean, and there is a thing, like, even in going, it's inefficient. Like, there's a way I go. It's the same as, you know, I remember even not being, you know, being accused of being stubborn. And there was part of my brain that just went, yeah, that just means I'm dedicated. That means I'm, you know, not voracious. What's the word?
Stubborn.
Yeah, what's the other word of stubborn? It's
I was joking. I went stubborn. That's the other word of stubborn.
No, it's
Oh no.
Well, that makes it wrong. That makes it something that doesn't work for you. There's a sense that someone sees it in that way, either because they need you to become conscious, or, you know, you need you to become conscious of how it's actually working for you, or they need to become conscious of how it's working for them. Oh, what is the word? It starts with V.
Vivacious. Voracious.
No, when you're dedicated, like it's not dedicated, because it is that other sense of stubborn where you're.
I don't know of any V words. Vicarious. Vital. Velour. Oh, she's very velour.
Let's do some V words.
She's very velour. I don't know if velour means stubborn, though.
No, it doesn't.
Vicissitudes. I love that word. The vicissitudes of modern life. I love that word.
Vanguard.
Not Vanguard. Oh, yeah, okay, you're Vanguard, but that's
no,
not
I'm just thinking of V words. This is just a V word section.
Oh my God, there's just moments where you look out the window and the flats out the window, the sun is shining on the bricks, like making it look like something that's out of the art gallery. Never even really noticed that wall before, but there's a set of bricks out there that's looking mighty fine this morning. I would show you, but I was just trying to describe it to you. Anyway, back to the V word.
No, keep going. To do the description. It doesn't matter.
Valor. Valor is a lovely word. And if you like oils, Young Living oils, Valor is one of their, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
It's got blue tans.
I was going to say premium, but that's not what I mean. I mean one of their most vivacious oils. Oh. Valedictorian. What's that word they use in American colleges? Valedictorian. Valor.
Yeah, there's something like that.
You people, some of you people out there.
You people
over there in the afternoon who are awake already. You awake people will know the name of that word.
Anyway, so what I was getting at is the communication is not ineffective. It's creative. It's, you know, going around a corner. It's taking people like the Pied Piper into some weird way of understanding it instead of going directly. You sound like the kettle.
It's taking you straight for another coffee. Oh yeah, we'll just go down the coffee shop for a while and see what's happening. Oh, kimono exhibition, fabulous. Oh, we have some really cute little galleries around here, and one at the moment has a kimono exhibition, and it often has things that are quite, you know, industrial warehouse kind of, I don't know, skulls and rusting metal kind of things in it, but at the moment it's got all those things, but it's also got this kimono exhibition hanging in it that, oh my gosh, the colours and the texture of it just are something else. That juxtaposition is very powerful. And also then there's another gallery in a beautiful community centre up on top of a hill called Kira Hill, and it's a fat little family cute exhibition of weaving and pottery and just absolutely gorgeous. Just, I mean, it's their energy that family's got. I don't know, I've never met them before, but you just go, wow, you guys rock. Because they just have obviously nurtured some full-blown aesthetic in their family that's very tangible in what they create, in the beauty of what they create. It's very beautiful. Anyway, just quickly back to Mel's V word. Her stubbornness, her virilness.
Virility is virilness.
But what was the stubborn word? Have you thought of it yet?
No.
Anyway, what were you going to say about his stubbornness? That's not stubbornness.
Well, just what I said, that it's either someone says it in that way so that you can understand it as something that works for you and relabel it in a way that gives it power, or they understand their own stubbornness in a new way that allows them to integrate how it works for them. And just the way that, you seeing the words as inefficient. Like there is a sense that, well, is that the priority? Because when the priority is creativity, when the priority is entertainment, when the priority is empowerment, it's not necessarily going to be efficient. There is a sense that you can take someone on a journey and there can be a moment of frustration, or there can be something else that goes on that allows that bud to grow and that experience to occur outside of the realms of direct A to B. So even in all of that, there is an invitation just to see the way that you naturally do things, or those idiosyncrasies that you have as part of, well, it is the gift that you are. You wouldn't have those idiosyncrasies if they weren't part of your delivery system. I think the only reason they feel like they get in the way is because we haven't accepted them. There is a sense that once we know that they are our best friends,
so go forth into the world and be your idiot. Is that like idiosyncrasies?
No, idiot is having an IQ of whatever it is.
For some reason, it's made me think of two things: Jim Carrey and fairy tales.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about fairy tales just now. I've been reading them a lot as well, and thinking, what happened to us? Because very much, old stories are just pretty random in many ways, and there's no kind of real sense of everything getting completed, or I'm not sure what it is, because it's not just a happy ending, it's just things aren't as they seem, and people can die, and it just, it's all over the place. In the sense of kind of making sense of all the parts of it. There's a feeling that all the parts don't add up the way we make stories add up nowadays. Like, it feels like in the stories, most of the stories that we're given to consume.
You mean fables or fairy tales? Because they're two different things.
Oh, I'm talking generally about stories. So I'm just talking generally about stories. There's a sense that the stories we get to consume now, all the loose ends get tied up and everything's kind of comes around to make a certain amount of sense in some area. It's not, it doesn't feel, even when it is quite random, when you think about kids' cartoon or, adult cartoons and stuff, even though it's quite random, there's still kind of it all ties together in the end. It all coalesces in something at the end where you get some kind of something that makes sense out of it.
I don't know. Have you seen a lot of those ones on SBS now?
No.
They're pretty out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I get that feeling, whereas some of the fairy tales, they are like dreams. They're more like your dreams where you go, oh, that's just like real life, that bit, but what the heck did that mean in relation to that? You know, like it's all over the shop, and things happen that you can't really make any sense of in the normal way that we tie those other things together. I just, So I just found that interesting.
But that's, I mean, when you say that, there is that part of me that goes, yeah, but that's the way life is.
Yeah.
We like to think that it's mechanistic and that it makes sense and that we can understand what caused what. But in reality, that's not how it works.
Yeah. And I guess we've been looking at so many books and concepts and ideas and different things and going, you know, like when you pick up a book of someone else's or something, can you go, oh, you know, I'm thinking even of the Jim Carrey speech at the Maharishi Institute that's on the internet at the moment, and, you know, like you just tune in with some of the stuff he's saying and it's funny, and you go, oh, that touches a chord, it resonates somewhere, and then in another sentence you go, oh, that's not the way I see it. You know, and something about the way we communicate, interact with other people, you know, where we do kind of judge it like that, like we do pull it apart in that particular way. And I'm just thinking about it now and going, well, what if you just looked at it like a dream, you know, like the parts that agree with your reality or blend in, meld in with your reality somewhere, and then the other parts that are, what the hell is that? Are you sure? I don't think it works like that. You know, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say about dreams and reality, but
that's the
sense that reality is more of a dream than we think it is. It is more.
But that's the same. Like when we watched that speech, and there was a sense, like that's why I was writing afterwards. I don't think I read it to you, but I was writing afterwards about those moments of hope and the moments of disappointment. The sense that, you know, he's talking into areas that are the message that I have, and then he goes off onto tangents that I wouldn't go on. And so when I wrote about it afterwards, I was making sense of that as a conversation with the wisest person in the universe. You know, that sense of hope and that sense of disappointment are messages for me to have a conversation. They're not in and of themselves an assessment of what's been going on. And so when I sat down to write about it, that's when I realised that, oh, that's because I'm on the crest of the wave, and there is a sense that the message that I have isn't out there, and my going with and feeling, you know, having a physical sensation at a certain point of the message is, you know, that the universe communicating to me, hey, this is where your stuff goes in. This is where you get to continue the wave. Like the wave is moving, and then it gets to a certain point in the message, and I feel like, you know, I've fallen off, not fallen off, but it's not still moving on the wave. And that's an indication for me that that's the point where my message comes in. So even in all of that, there is a sense, like you say, if you can see it as a dream, if you can see it not as they are concrete things in themselves, hope and disappointment, if you can see them as indicators that you're having a conversation, and that conversation is relevant to whatever your mission is or whatever your experience is, you can let go of that person being wrong or you being right, or, you know, something else happening that makes it difficult for you to walk around in the world.
Well, I'm particularly, I had an interview with my beautiful friend Marish, who is doing her Masters in Organizational Behaviour or whatever, something like that. Anyway, Organizational Behaviour, is that something? Anyway, about how organizations go on, psychology of organizations, and she was talking about collaboration and competition, and she was just looking at, different kind of, consultants or people in alternative healing or lawyers or, different kind of, what do you call them? People divided up in groups of working people.
Teams?
Yeah, but different occupations.
Fields?
Yeah, different fields. How different fields have a different, brain is not working. They have a different level, expectation, whatever, of how competitive or how collaborative you will be. And, she was just looking at whether that is across the board of those fields, of those different occupations, or whether, in different areas, different groups, people were able to collaborate more or more competitive. And I just found that very interesting. That sense of, well, I guess what it gave me a sense of was, if you're on the fringes, if you're, it's not career, can't think of the words for it anyway, if your occupation is on the fringes, it's like it feels like you have to band together in competition to the other people. Like you're able to be more collaborative because you feel on the outer in culture generally. Like it feels like, if you're a lawyer or a doctor, or you're kind of, your status is assured somewhere, it feels like there's a lot more competition within you because you don't have to band together to feel secure. So it was just interesting, the things that came out in my head about, when some people think they're less competitive within their field, it may not be for the reasons that we think. Like, oh, they're much more, collaborative and co-creative and cooperative, but, at other layers it's for different reasons.
Yeah, well, I think any of those summaries and categories and whatever are illusions. I just think even saying that all lawyers can be put in one basket is an illusion. Like it, because every experience they're having and every journey they've taken to be in that moment, and everything that they've brought with them or not brought with them, and everything that they're looking at and all of the systems of belief that they're standing in at that moment doesn't make them a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. It feels like that's the same thing that you're saying. That ultimately,
but also, I mean, I guess she is exploring, going, some professions, whether it's consultant or whatever, there's a sense that it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and you are fighting for the few opportunities that there are. There's a sense of that in different fields. It's stronger. The mindset around going into that field is stronger. When you go through uni, when you get indoctrinated into that way of operating, there's a sense that you are trained up to be more aggressive, to be more, it's you against the world somewhere. So she was just exploring why that is, where that sits, and whether there are fields that are really operating outside of that. And, we were talking about, in this area of the self-help movement or the alternative kind of movements, there is that real sense of, and through the internet, it is a lot through the internet, that sense of joint venturing with people, and that, when you help friends achieve what they want to achieve, it benefits you, like there's that mutuality of sharing of information and clients and marketing and different things. So we were just talking about, where the true collaboration ends and where you are complementing each other, or where if that is true collaboration, even or not, or if it is just, trying to get your share. I don't know, so there was a lot of questions in there which were, just got me thinking, I guess, about, is my collaboration true collaboration, or is that layer of competition still in there? And does the collaboration only happen when I need it? or is it an ongoing thing throughout my whole way of operating? I just found that, yeah.
Well, it just makes
it was a good question to kind of have a look at for myself.
It just reminds me of that conversation about giving and receiving. You know, in a sense, there is no giving without receiving, and there is no receiving without giving. And when we look at love or life as an exchange, we have this arbitrary line that creates an exchange, you know, and it just comes back to that. If energy is always moving, and whatever is moving in is a conversation, and it's alchemized, and then it moves out, it can never stop, it can never end, it can never be just giving, it can never be just receiving. I know that in there some people are still getting burnt out, and people are not filling their cup, and all that kind of stuff is still going on. But they're, in a sense, it's still understandable within the realms of everything is always moving. And that even in that sense of collaboration, I just go, if you're keeping it to yourself, if there's some information or some resource that you're hoarding, you're keeping it from yourself as much as you're keeping it for yourself. I don't know, it feels like there's no such thing as a closed system. You know, like that idea of the person that's giving and giving and giving and giving and never having anything for themselves, and suffering as a consequence, because I mean, lots of people can do that and still receive. But, you know, if there's a suffering as a consequence, it feels like the conversation is not about the balance, because the balance is always there. The balance is in, like, the conversation is in the suffering. You know, somewhere the balance is always there. And it's that experience of suffering that is the conversation that's being had. And it's not waiting to be had, it's being had. You know, that person is in that conversation. They're engaging it on a very particular level that's, you know, not allowing them to see that they're filling their cup, however you want to understand that. But some of the conversation is being had. Otherwise, we're still back to that loop. We're still back to that concept of you know, I can see how everything is put together, and I'm going to rearrange stuff in order to have it in the best possible.
Which then comes back
Kinetic
to
energy.
control.
Yeah.
It then comes back to controlling things to have a certain outcome.
And I mean, it's not to say that kind of it's not to diminish looking at the world in that way, to do that research, to understand your relationships from, like, it doesn't matter what door you go into. It's always going to come back to that, and it doesn't diminish the exploration of those things. What is collaboration? What is competition? What is shared resource? What is exchange? Like, and even to go, well, this field is an entity of itself. Like, it's not to diminish that looking at those things are worthwhile.
I think I'm just thinking about it too, in the sense of there's a lot of collaboration going on at the moment to make the world a better place. In that sense, like, you know, I went to a artist professional development run by the city council around here on the weekend. It was fabulous to talk about artistic process and to come together and share ideas and share our different mediums and resources with each other, and have people who've created some extraordinary events and extraordinary, not just events, but they've shaped culture in many ways in different cities of Australia, and a group of people coming together to collaborate to shape culture. If we, when we do that, have an agenda and are really trying to align things to go a particular way, it's like good luck, because the unexpected, you know, it's like the fairy tale, the unexpected pops out and
to have a conversation. Really?
Yeah. And you know, and things are magical. It is like, it's like magic. It is like alchemy in that sense, because it's like you put all these elements together with the idea that you're going to create, you know, this, and then this, all these other things pop up, and it doesn't end up looking anything like that over there. So it is interesting.
Yeah, and it just makes me, like, the sentence in my head is, because there's nothing outside of the conversation. You know, there is no, this is what I'm doing in my job and this random thing came in and distracted me. That random thing is your conversation. That's all part of it. It's all happening as part of it. There's nothing outside of it.
So this has been another Random Miracles and Wonders, a conversation between two puppets. People. I was supposed to put a puppet in the show, but I forgot, so who knows what's pulling our strings. So this puppet is on her way out into the world to have a conversation.
You're playing with kids today,
this puppet, yeah, I'm playing with kids. You can tell I played with them yesterday as well, in a very small room with a very lot of kids with very noisy toys.
Did they do plays? Did they use puppets yesterday?
They did plays, but they didn't use puppets.
Maybe today they can use them.
They had dragons, they had magic forests, they had unicorns, they had
fabulous
things going on. Oh, they had teeth getting knocked out and wishing to be in the circus. Out doing a triple somersault on the flying trapeze with their mum and dad. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those plays have always been a bit like dreams.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They do. Last time I was there, they did time travel. That was exciting. And there was...
Yeah, but those plays with them kids, they always, like, things, you know, it's like, because it's very about them creating it, and so it's like, we want ninjas. I want to be a pink rabbit. I want to be a mermaid. I want to be a blood-sucking zombie. I want to have a dragon. You know, oh, I'm going to be a pilot of an aeroplane. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to put that together in a story.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, that'll be fun. Interesting. And then we narrate it, or someone narrates it while the parents come and watch after 3 hours of people running around like herding cats. So
and there was singing last time too.
Oh yeah,
someone did some singing.
There's a bit of dancing this time.
Oh, excellent!
Will Ferrell happy dancing. And on that note, I'd just like to say thank you to all the fabulous co-dancers in our Will Ferrell happy video that we found on the internet the other day with us dancing in the Will Ferrell song.
Is that what Will Ferrell is?
And I'm happy.
I see. Yeah, that was great. I love that.
And yes, check out the rest of the Creating Calm broadcast network. There's some amazing 24/7 broadcasts going on from all around the world, and people in their little hollows around the place. We've got another presenter from Australia at Mount Tambourine, Carol, and we've got a lovely little fairy over in Ireland, and we've got Dorrit doing her stories, and we've got all these other amazing people on the Creating Calm network. So stay tuned in. You can get it on an app now, which is very exciting for everybody.
It is very exciting.
In fact, I should remember to download that app in the car on the way to work. That will make work exciting, wouldn't it? That will make that drive exciting. All right, so the sun is shining on the side of my head now. And that's an interesting look. And I can't even see the wall out the window anymore because the glare is like, woo.
You can see frangipanis. So today I'll be writing and harassing my husband. Playing like 3-year-olds in the sand pit, fighting over toys. That will be fun.
It's very much fun. And whatever you do, we'll see you next Tuesday.
We will see you
Tune in.
next Tuesday.
Thanks for joining us again. Ciao. Ciao for now. Ciao.